Hello everyone, in today's video I will show you how to set up my lazy list box for Godot. As you can see, it is on the right side here. It has 1 million objects loaded. I have no performance drops and constantly 60 FPS. And on the left side we have this regular list box approach in Godot with only 10,000 objects, so not a million. And you can notice how the performance and FPS drops while hovering with my mouse over these items. Just let me explain in 30 seconds how this works, and then I show you how to use my lazy list box in your projects. Well, this is how you see a list box in game. A regular list box contains hidden items that are not rendered below, but they're still instantiated. If we want to add a new item, then we have to instantiate it. And to instantiate something to the scene tree can be expensive. And here's one solution of many how to solve it. It is this lazy list box approach here, and the first question is how much items can we display? For instance, in this picture we can display 4 items, but lazy list box will automatically create an appropriate amount of items based on your list box height. But this means that we have no hidden items below. And here comes the idea of this lazy list box approach. We don't display hidden items that will be below, like in a regular list box. We change data instead. So item 1 becomes item 2. And if I want to add a new item, then I add this item to my array and not to my scene tree. And adding data to an array is less expensive than adding nodes to the scene tree. And this is basically the trick behind all that. I think you got the idea. Let's do the setup. Okay, so first of all, you have to download my add-on. So you can find it in the Godot asset library. Just search for listbox and here it is. Or you can download the current version on my GitHub here. You click on that star button here and then download this zip file. What I will do now. And save this and open the folder here. Okay, and make sure it looks like this. So the add-on folder, the add-ons folder should be in your root directory of your project. Now we can go back to Godot and we have now this add-ons folder here. So what I do now is I create a new 2D scene and I will create a new canvas layer. And then I have my add-ons folder here. And in this add-ons folder is my lazy list box tscn. So I would drag and drop it to my canvas layer here. And now I have it here. Let me see it on this 2D scene here. Here it is. And I will also add just a new button, something like here. Okay, so now we will create our item template. So let me explain what our item template is. We switch back to my GitHub page. Then you can see I have this inventory example here. And here you can see that one item has an icon, a title for, or an info message, info box, however you will call that, for the value, and so on. So this is an item template that we can use it like a data template. And this is something that we will now create. So we go back to Godot, to our root directory here and create a new scene. We make sure it is a button type. So button, let's pick that. And scene name is just item template. So now I have this item template, which is a button. Just let me click on that and I have this flat option here. I will set this on. So now here's my button. It is invisible because of this flat option. And I will add another button inside this item template. And I select this button here. And I go to layout mode, and make sure I have full rect enabled. So now it looks like this. And we can just change the text to placeholder. So now we have our button placeholder here. And we select again this root node and we search for min height. So it is here in this layout group, and this value here, we set this to 50. Now we have our min height. And if you want to display more items in your list box, then you have to play around with this value here. But make sure you don't do something like this. So just input a realistic value like 50. And if you realize that your items are very small, then you can play around with this value here. Okay, now we have to attach a script here, item template. Great. So now we have our new script, and it extends from a button because our root node is a button. And I would recommend you to use a button because the focus management is much easier if you use a button. Okay, so I hit the play button here and let's see what happens. Oh, I have to cancel that for a moment. I go back to my unsaved scene here and I saved this with a name main, and then I save also this item template and go back to this main scene and just hit play here and select it as current. So now I got this error message here. Let me close that here. Item template is missing. So this is an error message that I implemented. So it means that we have to assign our item template. So we have this lazy list box, remove that search text here. And this lazy list box has an item template field that is built in. And we can just drag and drop our template that we created to that field. So now it is assigned. And now let's save this scene and press the play button again. And as you can see, we have another error message. So this is intended. So it says your item template needs a script with this function. So, and here's the name of the function. We copy that. So this is necessary because the lazy list box control will call that function to set up the UI elements. So we go back to our item template and add this function to our script. And what we will do now is we will create a variable, item data, and we say item data is data. And we need another variable for our index. Let's do that, item index, which is of course a int type. And we also have to assign that here, index. So what we do here is, so when we scroll, so let me go to my GitHub page. When we scroll, we change data. And if we change data, our lazy list box control will call this configure item method. And it will say, okay, I have right now this item with this index and it has this data. And we can use that data to modify our UI elements. To be more specific, our item template, which has a button. And we will do that. So, and what we will do is we select our item template here, and here's a button, and we will drag and drop it to our code, but I will press also the control key. And now I have access to this button instance, and I can use the values of this button here. And I just say button text is data. Or to be more specific, the string of this data. Okay, now let's hit again this play button here. Okay, we have now this lazy list box control here and again, and this button here. So this is an add button. I forget to name it, but we have no items in our list box because we have no data in it, right? So we have to create data. So let me go back to our main scene here, activate that 2D viewport, and just let me rename this item here, add item, we need that later. Now I have to create a new node. So I have a new node here and I will attach a new script on it. So we say fake data, and firstly, we need access to our lazy list box. So we drag and drop it to our code. So I press Ctrl and drop it here. So now I have access to my list box. And now we add a simple re function here. So, and we create an array and let's say fake data. And it's an array of string with empty items. Okay, we will add items now, fake data, append just to test if it's worked. So now I can again hit that play button and we have still no items because we have here. So if you visit my GitHub page, I have the public methods here. So we need that set data method here. So let me copy that and paste it here. So we have to copy our fake data, set the data, and we need this function in for our list box here. And if I hit the play button now, you can see I have this item that I added to my array, foobar. So let's close this again and let's add more items to it, like really more. So we can say for item in range, I don't know, for instance, let's say 2 million. And we just say fake data append item plus item or item, or just rename this to, it is better if I do it like this. So now if I hit the play button, we have 2 million objects here. And did you saw how fast this was? And look at this. So every item is working, so focus is working. I can scroll to the button. I can also use the page up and page down keys on my keyboard, or the home and end button on my keyboard to go to the first element and to the last element. Okay, so now we want to use this add button here, this add item button here, to add new items on to that list box. Okay, so what we do is we click on that, we go to this node tab here. So there's a signal for that, so button down, and we connect that to our node where our fake data script is, and we just say, or we copy that fake data append foobar here, paste it here, and okay, I hit the play button here. So now if I hit that item button, you can see that we have no new items. So I can click it again, go down, no new items. And the reason why we have no items is that we have always to refresh our list box if the array size changes. So this implicates refresh. Okay, then hit that play button again. And now if I hit add item, you can see the items are below. And what we could also do is we could use this focus item at data index so that every time when we add an item, then it should scroll down. So this could be useful if you have something like a chat where you want every time that when a new message appears, then you want to scroll down, right? Because it makes sense to see the last message in your chat history. And therefore we use this method. So, okay, just let's say fake data here, copy that here and paste that here, size -1. So I hit again this play button here, and now I add a new item, and you can see it scrolls automatically down. And I have no performance issues while I adding these new items. And as you can see, we have still this 2 million items here. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please comment, leave a like and subscribe so I know I can continue with projects like this. See you next time. Bye.